In this video I will show you how to search for a patient and how to navigate a patient record. On the quick access toolbar there is a button that says find a patient. Alternatively you can press F5 on the keyboard. This will bring up the patient find screen. You can see straight away that there's some patients already there, and it will always show you the recent patients that you have retrieved. At the top we can search for the patient name, date of birth or NHS number. To the right we can search by their address. So if I wanted to search for somebody called B. Smith, I can type in there B. Smith, press enter or click search on the right, and it brings everybody up that matches that information. If I want to search for somebody by address, I need to remember to clear this, else it will look for somebody called B. Smith at the address that I'm searching for. And in here I can type the address that I'm looking for and either press enter or click search. And it brings the most accurate results up at the top of the screen, so you can see these ones near the top are all Mill Road. At the bottom you can see there's page 1 of 3, so if I want to see the further results down I can just click on the arrow, and in here you can see it's found those words but in a different order, so it's put those results further down. I'm going to search for my patient again, and to retrieve them I can either just double click or I can click OK. And you can see a pop-up appears with any warnings for this patient, and I can either decide to deal with that now or I can close it. So I now have the patient record open because I have this blue bar along the top which is called the patient précis. If I want to see the patient's address I can click on these little drop down arrows next to his name, and there I've got some more information for the patient. To get to his record I've got a couple of options. Up on the quick access toolbar I've added this button for summary, so if I click on that, that will take me to the summary in the patient's record. Also on the quick launch menu we've got this section here called care record, and in here we've got summary, medication, consultations and investigations. So I can just click on the relevant bit and it will take me to that part of the record. I'm in the summary screen and you can see we've got some different tabs along the top of this screen, and it's taken me to the summary because that's what I clicked on. So the first section is the add edit, so this will let me add any extra summary items, it'll let me export and it'll let me share. The next section is the view section, and in here you can see it's defaulted to summary, but we've also got cardiac view, child health and diabetic. We can also print any of these screens. These buttons are similar in any of these tabs. We can see we've got CL config, we've got browse and we've got manage fit notes. The next tab that I'm going to look at is the consultations tab. So again at the beginning we've got the add edit section, so it'll let us add any consultations, edit, delete and so on. Down at the bottom we've got the actual consultation, so we've got the date navigator on the left, and then we've got the consultations on the right. Along the top we've also got this view, so if you pick a particular entry you can click on this trend button and it will show you either tabular or graphical, and you can choose to look at the history of that particular entry. We've got my consultations. Because I haven't done any consultations in this record, that is blank. I've got view deleted and collapse all. The next section is the filter section, so you can set up some filters, but we can also search by text. So if I click on that I will be able to type in there the word that I'm looking for, and you can see straight away it starts filtering out all of the other entries and just shows me the entry that contains that text. If I want to go back to looking at all of the entries I can just click on that text search button and it will put it back to everything. And again we've got a print button, the CL config and so on. The next tab is the medication tab. And in here we can see any acute medication that the patient has had, and then we've got any repeat medication. So they are just split out. We've got these little headers here. And again in the top left section the first thing is to add drug. We've got all the different things. If we highlight an item you'll see those all buttons become all active. We've got issue and so on. The next tab is problems. And you see we've got at the top any active problems, and then we've got past problems. And again, we've got similar buttons at the top. We've got the Add Edit section, we've got the View section, and then we have an Actions section. But then also we've got the Filter, the Print, the CR Config. The next section is Investigations. So these would be any readings that you've taken in the practice or any investigations that have been sent off to the lab. Once they come back from the lab, they would be in here. And again, we've got a trend button, so you would highlight the relevant reading, you'd be able to click trend, click tabular, and it would put that in a tabular format for you. The next section is care history, and in here we've got different entries. So again, we've got the add and edit section, we've got a view section. If you want to look at one of them, if they've got a little magnifying glass next to them, that means it's a document, so you can just double click on it and it will retrieve that document. Once we're in here, we've got the options down at the bottom right to send, export, print or close. So by default, that care history tab defaults to all data. You can see the next button is non-value data. We've got allergies, health status, family history, and also any immunisations. The next tab is the diary tab, and you can see in here at the top we should have any diary dates. This particular patient hasn't got any, but if the patient has any sort of cough indicators or they need to come back for something, they would have a diary date on there telling you when their review is next due, and then you would be able to send them a reminder. But this patient has got test requests and they've got some tasks. Again, we've got some views along the top. We've got past appointments, completed tasks, and completed task requests. The next tab is documents. Again, to view one of the documents, you would just double click in it in the same way we did in the care history screen. We've got a referrals tab. Any referrals would be listed there. And then the last one is care plans. And that is a brief summary of a patient record. If you wanted to retrieve another patient, you can just go and click on the Find Patient. If you want to come out of this and you don't want to have to retrieve another patient, we can just right click over the patient name and we've got Clear Current Patient, and that will close that patient record down and it takes you back to the home screen.